Hi, everybody. This is Virginia Milner coming to you for the DeKalb County Library. And you know what? I just realized a couple of videos ago was my 300th tutorial. I wish I had realized it at the time. I would have done something extra special. But I think that's so exciting. This is tutorial number 302. We started this during the pandemic, and after the pandemic was over, they asked me to continue, and so here we are. Anyway, I thought we would continue with our chainmail um, extravaganza. I've always done a lot with jump rings, and I just thought I was linking jump rings together. I didn't realize I was doing chainmail. It's not traditional chainmail because I'm not using the proper jump rings. I'm just using regular jump rings and linking them together. So we're going to continue with that today with a necklace. We've done earrings. We've done a bracelet, and now we're going to do a necklace. And this one's going to be very, very basic. It's going to be simply linking a larger size jump ring with smaller size jump rings. That's it. We're simply going to make a jump ring chain. So what I'm using today is 6 millimeter jump rings as my chain, and 4 millimeter jump rings to link them. You can go 4 millimeter or 5 millimeter, just something smaller than what you're using. If you're using 8 millimeter jump rings, go 7. Well, I probably go 6 or 5 to link them, just something smaller, so that it looks like an actual chain. But it's really pretty. I've already started. It is really very, very pretty. So we're going to do that today. It's going to be very basic and very simple. And my gosh, it's so pretty. I can't believe how basic it is and what you get as a result. So I'm using 6 millimeter jump rings as my chain, and then you can use 5 or 4 millimeter jump rings to do your linking. I'm going to use some paper beads in between the chain strands, and 20 gauge wire to make the links with the beads. That's it. Jump rings, beads, and wire. That's all you need for this, and your usual tools. Your round nose pliers. The barrel is round all the way around. It starts wider at the bottom near the hilt and tapers up to almost a point at the tip. You've got your square nose pliers that are slightly rounded on the outside, and they're flat on the inside. That helps you make your square shapes if you're making square shapes. When you're buying this in the store or ordering it online, you want to make sure that that inside is perfectly smooth. You don't want those ridges on the inside, because that can damage your wire when you're working with it. The third thing that you're going to need is a pair of wire cutters. The name says exactly what they do. They cut your wire. That's it. And let's go ahead and get started. Let's get this chain made. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is link um, our jump rings together. Here are my 6 millimeters. I'm using 4 millimeter. Those of you who get kits will either get 4 or 5 millimeter. I'm going to give you some extra of the tiny ones because they are quite tiny, and it's easy for them to get lost. And I don't want you to have to worry about crawling around trying to find them. And they're probably not the most general size to be able to find in a craft store for replacement. So I'm giving you some extras to work with. We're just going to make a simple chain link. So what I'm going to do, just think of this though. You'll get all kinds of practice regarding opening and closing jump rings with this. Awesome. So the first thing that we're going to do is open up some jump rings. So the proper way to open a jump ring is to find the opening. I just use my fingernail and find the opening. When my finger stops, or if I can feel it with my skin, I know that's the opening of the jump ring. So what I'm going to do is take one plier. We get this to focus. Trying to focus on too many things. There. So I'm going to move these out of the way. Otherwise, it's trying to find them and not focusing where I want it to focus. So let's move those. Come on. Come on, work with me here. There's a frame. A little opening. Better. Okay. So I've got my little opening here. I'm going to put one plier on one side of the opening, another plier on the other side of the opening, and just twist it until I have a nice open jump ring, just like that. And I'm going to do several of those, and that way I don't have to put everything down and pick it up every time I want to open a jump ring. Another way that you can do it when you have a jump ring that's big enough is to put your one plier on one side, your thumb on the other side, and just twist, just like that. Easy peasy, easy peasy. So I'm going to do several of those. Let's do 4 of them because I'm going to make an 8-link chain here. Here's my little opening. The one thing that you never want to do, here's your little tips. You don't want to pull them apart. You always want to twist it open. That way it's easier to maintain your round shape when you close it up again. Okay, so now I've got some of these open, and I'm going to add 4 of my linking jump rings to my chain ring. I'm calling this the chain, and these the links. So I'm going to add 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the tiny ones. And then I'm going to close that back up. I can squeeze it closed, and then I can make adjustments with my pliers. Just kind of wiggle that until those little tips are coming together again. There we go. Do the next one. Same thing. 4 little rings. Get back up there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I can see that my little tiny rings, some of them aren't coming together quite properly. See how that's overlapping? Let's see if I can get you a good view of that. Yeah, see how those are overlapping? The way you can fix that is just go in with your pliers, open it up a little bit, just a little bit, and just wiggle it till those tips are together. Sometimes that happens when you buy them. Let's see if I can find another one that's like that. This one is a little bit. This one's a tiny bit overlapped. Yeah, just a tiny bit. So I can probably take my pliers and squeeze it. Or maybe not. I might have to do the wiggle. There we go. Yeah, just squeeze it until those little tips or side by side. Much better, still a little overlapped. Oh, see, it ran away from me. Come back here. There we go. And you can just do that with your pliers. Gives you a little bit of experience with how to work with these jump rings. Something that if you're doing wire linking, you're going to be using a lot. You're going to be doing a lot. So I've got my 4 little jump rings on there. Close up my chain link. Let's put that to the side. Grab another 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm all blurry. Goodness. And 4. Sorry about that. I wasn't looking at the camera. There. And let's close that up. Put those little tips together. Yes. Nice. That's going to do one more. Grab 4 of these little guys. Slide them on. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And close. All right. Let's do some linking. So now what I need to do is grab one of my other rings. These are going to stay closed for the moment. And I'm going to take that, separate my rings, 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. Well, just 2 apart. Let's just put it that way. And then I'm going to grab one of these. Oh, I said this is going to be closed, didn't I? I'm wrong. Let's open these guys up because I need to link them to the tiny ones. Okay. And one more. All right. So now I'm going to grab my ring with the tiny ones on it. Let's separate 2 from the other 2. And I'm going to slide this empty jump ring in the 2, just like that, and close it back up. Yay. Oh, actually, before I close it, I'm going to link that to another one that's got the tiny rings on it. Slide that in there and close. So now I have a little mini chain. That's what I have so far. Let's grab another one of the empty ones and link that through the 2 tinies on the last ring. And get another ring and link it through 2 of the tiny ones and close. Make sure those tips are together. And we're just going to keep doing that until I have the chain the length that I want. Now, I could have just done a full chain like this, but you know me and beads. I love them. So I had to introduce some beads to my little chain. But isn't that neat? Neat. Oh, I forgot to put this one on. Let's add this one to it. So I'm going to open that back up. And grab 2 of these little tinies and slide the ring on and close. I'm going to go to the other side here where I got the two tinies. Grab this last empty ring and slide it on right through those little teeny tinies and close. And there's my little chain. Seriously, what could be simpler than that? Isn't that amazing? Awesome. So the next thing I'm going to do is make some beads to put on my chain. And I'm using these pretty paper beads. I went for all different colors because I didn't really want it to be any specific color. And so I'm going to need some 20 gauge wire. Now, I'm making simple loops. I'm not doing wrapped loops, just simple loops for this. So what I'm going to need is a half an inch of wire on each side of my beads. Now, I am stringing on 2 beads. You can do 1 bead and a chain, 1 bead and a chain. It's entirely up to you. I'm putting on 2 beads, and then I'm going to make a loop on each side. So if you want to cut them, what you'll need to do is measure the beads and see how much space they would take up on your wire, and then give yourself a half an inch on either side to make your loops. So I'm just eyeballing it. That's about a half an inch over there. That's about a half an inch over there. Nip that off. And they're all going to be different because these are all different sizes. So I'm going to have to cut for each one. Slide that on. I find it easiest to just slide it on the wire so I can see what I have to work with. Isn't that a pretty pair? That is a pretty pair. Such an unusual color, these. I've hardly ever seen this. Okay, and they came from Ghana, if I'm not mistaken. Beautiful, beautiful beads. Okay, so let's put that out of the way. That off of there. It's easier to make the first loop without any beads on there. Okay, so I'm going to go down here about a half an inch. I'm going to bend my wire to the side, like so, because if I bend it off to the side and make my loop ends up on top, which is where I want it to go. Then I'm going to grab my round pliers. I'm going to slide my wire down. I'm going down about just not quite a third of the way down my wire because I want my loops to kind of echo my chain loops. I want them to be almost as close to the same size as I can, just for aesthetic purposes. And I'm going to put my wire right there in between the prongs of my pliers. Make sure that wire is not sticking out the back. If I can feel it, which I can, it's too far up. So I'm going to pull it back a bit and check again. There we go. And then I'm going to use my plier hand and turn to start my loop. Then I'm going to hold on to my wire. Try not to let the wire slide as you open your pliers up and reposition them back and put another turn in. And then you're just going to keep doing that until you have a loop. So there's my loop. Nice. Then I'm going to put my beads on. Again, you can put the beads on in any order that you want. I'm doing 2 sets of beads in between my chain links. You can do 1 and 1 and 1 and 1, or you can do it any way you want. Use your own design preference. So again, I'm going to bend my wire back. I want my loops going in the same direction. So this is going to be right and left. This is flat, right and left. I'm going to bend my wire back, grab my round nose pliers, slide my wire down to about the same spot that I did for the first one, and make a loop. There we go. Till it closes. There we go. So now I'm ready to link that to my chain. Let's make one more. Again, I'm going to bend the wire back right around 1/2 inch because I know that's how much it takes for me to make a loop when I slide my wire down about 1/3 of the way down my pliers. Check to make sure that tip's not sticking out and make my loop. Let's fix that. There we go. And just keep rotating until I have a loop. There it is. Nice. This could be a little further over to the side so it's a nice lollipop looking little guy. There. Let's go ahead and slide on my beads. Back on there. Okay. I'm gonna make my other loop. And that over to the side. And that looks like a little more than I want. So I'm going to cut that down just a smidge. Yeah, there we go. Cut that off. Ooh, I'm looking at my fingernail. Did I just chip that? I think I just did. Don't look at my fingernails. They look awful. Okay, I'm going to grab my round nose pliers. I'm almost finished. Grab my round nose pliers and again slide my wire down about 1/3 of the way down my pliers. Make sure that little tip is not sticking out and make my loop. There we go. Nice. There are my beads that I'm going to add to my chain. All right, let's bring the chain back out. Yay. Oh, it's stuck to my fingernail. Yay. So I'm going to add these to my chain. You can do it any design that you like again. And all I need to do, I need to add 2 more of those little teeny tinies to my empty ring here. Open that up. Add those little tiny ones on there. 1 and 2. Get back up there. It's going, no, I don't want to go on. And close that up. Actually, since it's open, I may as well just go ahead and slide this guy up. Oh no, he has to go through the little tiny ones. Okay, so let's close the 6mm jump ring up. Okay, and let's open up my bead ring and slide that through these 2 little guys. Just like we did with the jump ring. So when you open up your bead loop, you open it the same way you open up a jump ring, to the side. Slide that. Oh, come on, get in there. There we go. And close. Now, this is going to keep moving around unless you hold on to the ring on the bottom. Otherwise, it's going to keep spinning. So you want to hold on to that bottom ring so that you can stabilize it and close the ring up. There we go. And then I'm going to attach this other one, and I'm going to attach that also with the one of the rings in between. And I'm doing that partly for aesthetics and partly for length. So I'm going to add, this is just my design. You don't have to do it this way. I'm going to add one of my larger round ones. I'm going to give it 4 more of these little rings. And I'm doing this because I wanted to continue the look of the chain, but I wanted just a one chain link in between my beads. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I'm going to close that up. I don't know why I keep trying to link the big one to these guys. That's not where it goes. Not for my design anyway. Open that up. Have my little ring. Separate 2 of those little rings out and slide my bead ring in the 2 little rings. Close that back up. There we go. And now I'm going to hook it to the other beads. Open up that little bead ring to the side. And slide this in. Now, notice how I'm pushing down on this in order to hold this little ring away from my beads. Otherwise, it's going to slide down like that and you'll never be able to get it on. So you have to go ahead. You want to hold the bottom here. Hold this down and then slide these in. So you have to make sure it's open wide enough and it's not hugging the beads. And slide that in. Come on, get in the other one. There we go. Got them. And close that up. Make sure that tip is bumping into the other wire, the back of the wire. There we go. Good. And now I'm going to attach that to the rest of my chain that I've already done. So that's going to go here. So I need 2 more of those little tiny jump rings on my 6mm jump ring. Open that up. Add my 2 little rings and close. Good. And I'm going to open up my bead ring. Slide that ring inside the 2 tiny rings and close. So what I've done here, I have one, I'm going to call it larger ring. Make sure that's closed completely. Yes. I have a larger ring, small rings, large, small, large, small, large, small, attach it to the bead. And then the beads, small rings, larger ring, small rings, attach it to the bead. That's how my pattern is. So now I'm going to attach that to the other side. Got my little tiny rings on there already. Open this little guy up and slide it inside those tiny rings. And close. Now, did you notice something we do not have? What is that? We don't have a clasp. Why? Because I made this long enough to just pop over my head. No clasp required. Isn't that awesome? And this will go with pretty much anything. I mean, really, I can't think of anything I can't wear it with. The paper beads are so colorful and just, I mean, it's made out of paper. You can make it any color that you like. And this nice, simple, very basic chain makes it wearable for anything. And you know what else? This will make a great bracelet, a great bracelet. It's amazing the detailing you have in that very simple chain that we just made. I mean, goodness gracious, the things you can do with some jump rings. You just need a few jump rings, some beads, and your own imagination, and you can change this pattern. I don't think this is an actual chainmail pattern. It may be. It's very basic. Um, but you can pattern this any way you want. You could put three of these little jump rings on and slide in there. If you have large jump rings, you could slide on a bunch of these little jump rings and and put a big one in there. That would look amazing. I am going to play around with this because I am liking this a lot. I went back through some of my old um, tutorials, and I've seen that I've done a lot of this. I had no idea that it was considered chainmail. I thought it was just linking jump rings together. Who knew? I certainly didn't. Anyway, there we have it. We have our nice little homemade chain, a handmade chain. I shouldn't say homemade. Our nice little handmade chain, simple as it can be. Oh, and another thing that you could do. Oh, I wish I had brought those earrings down here. I did a pair of earrings where we placed a small jump ring inside of a larger jump ring. That would also be awesome. Put a large jump ring inside, a small jump ring inside of a large jump ring, and then link them all together. Wouldn't that be awesome? Now, it takes quite a few jump rings. This is not very many. It took maybe 100 of the little tiny ones and 50 or 60 of the larger ones to be able to make. I'm just popping it over my head to be able to make this chain that you can pop over your head, but you can make a shorter one, and then you won't have as many jump rings that you need. But there it is. Super simple. So much fun. Make it whatever length that you want. I did this so that I could just pop it over my head, get it around my earrings here, and there it is. Isn't that amazing? I love it. I absolutely love it. You can make it as long or as short as you like. And those of you who get kids are going to get the chain, are going to get the jump rings, two sizes, and the beads. That's really all you need. And the wire, the jump rings, the beads, and the wire. And I I really, really would love to see what you do with this. Because this was my pattern. 8 and 2 sets of beads, 8, 2 sets of beads. But if you wanted to, you could put all of the beads down in one place and then finish it up with the chain. Or you could not do two beads. You could do one bead and a space, one bead and a space, one bead and a space, chain, 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 chain. The possibilities are endless for this. And I really, really enjoy seeing what you do. So I hope that you will share with me your own designs. In the meantime, I hope you enjoyed this. I really do, because I did, and I'm going to enjoy wearing this. It'll go with pretty much anything, absolutely anything. I hope you enjoyed this. Please let me know one way or the other. You can get in contact with me at jewelrygen20@gmail.com. That's JEWELRYGIN20@gmail.com. You can also leave comments and pictures, please. And you can send me pictures to my email. I would love that. Comments and pictures at the DeKalb County Library Facebook page. That's facebook.com/DeKalb. Oh, excuse me, library. That's DeKalb. Or you can leave comments on the DeKalb County Public Library YouTube page, which is youtube.com/DeKalb County Public Library. DeKalbCountyPublic You have to write the whole thing out for the YouTube page. And please, I would love to hear your questions. If you had any difficulty seeing something that I was doing, let me know that. Let me know what questions you might want to have for clarity. Please let me know what you would love to see later. The earrings and the bracelet, has the bracelet come out yet? Bracelet hasn't come out yet, but the earrings, when they came out, my gosh. And so many guys that love the chainmail esque pattern. I never get comments from guys. Yay! So anyway, I would love to hear from you and hear what you think about these things that we're producing. Let me know what you would like to see, and I'll see if I can incorporate them in future projects. I think that's it. So thank you for being here with me. I hope you have a great week and a wonderful weekend. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.